Hey guys, Pete here. Today I'm going to do another Ozark Season 3 video. I'm going to talk about the questions I have after letting the events of Season 3 set in, and what I hope we'll get answers to in Season 4. At the time of writing this, Netflix hasn't made an official announcement about greenlighting a 4th season of Ozark, but I expect that they'll do that in the next couple of weeks. A quick spoiler warning just in case. If you haven't watched the entire Ozark series through the Series 3 finale, this video will spoil it for you. Go watch it now to get caught up, and then please come back to watch this and join the conversation in the comments after that. The Byrde family, Marty, Wendy, Charlotte, and Jonah, all made it out of Season 3 alive. As per usual, the people around them were not all so lucky. The shocking death in the final moments of Season 3 was the cartel lawyer Helen Pierce. She had relocated to Osage Beach for the summer after the casino got up and running. During the season, a power struggle between the Byrdes and Helen started to develop, and in the end, their boss, Omar Navarro, decided that the Byrdes were more valuable to his operation. He had Helen executed in front of Marty and Wendy, saying, "Today is our beginning," before embracing the blood-soaked couple who were still shocked by what they just witnessed. As shocking as that might have been in the moment, it wasn't the most impactful death that the Byrde family experienced. The loss of Wendy's brother Ben hits a lot closer to home, and that's the first big question that I have. How will Ben's death affect the Byrde family? Marty and Wendy started out Season 3 at odds with each other. After pulling off the near impossible feat of opening the casino, Marty and Wendy had very different ideas about how they should move forward. Ben's arrival on the scene didn't help the situation, and his mental illness started to cause problems after he stopped taking his medication. He fell in love with Ruth. They started a relationship, and in a tragic twist, her trying to help him by getting him released from a mental hospital set things in motion for his downfall. I'm not going to retell the whole story of Season 3 here. The important thing for this video is how his death might affect everyone else going forward. I should say that I do believe he's dead. I know we're trained to be skeptical if we don't see the person actually die or we don't see the body as proof, but I also believe that the story is best if he is actually dead. I don't think it would be a good twist if they pull him out later on and be like, "Oh yeah, remember all that stuff that happened at the end of Season 3? It was all just to fool you. Don't worry, Ben is fine." So yes, I do think he's dead. I don't think there's any chance he's going to come back. It turns out to be a very difficult situation for everyone that's involved. After arguing with Wendy about what really happened, Ruth decided to leave the Byrdes. We saw that Jonah was definitely struggling with this. And I thought the interesting thing that came out of it was, in the immediate aftermath, Marty was very supportive to Wendy. So the next big question for me then would be, will Marty and Wendy work together as a team again? As tragic as Ben's death was, will it turn out to be the thing that brings Marty and Wendy back together? With Ruth gone, Marty will need someone to take her place. Wendy would be the most likely candidate, but it would require them to work together in a way that they didn't in Season 3. And what about the rest of the family, who will all be coming to terms with Ben's death? First, let's talk about what the show is going to do with Charlotte. In Season 2, she had this close friendship with Wyatt and went to a lawyer to try to get herself emancipated. In Season 3, there was very little mention of either of those things. And when we saw her, she was either working at the office or hanging out with Helen's daughter, Erin. Right before Marty and Wendy left for Mexico, they gave her the keys to Buddy's mausoleum to coordinate the laundering through the gamblers. Will she get more involved with the family business? And are they just dropping her friendship with Wyatt from the story completely? Jonah is an even bigger question mark since we saw how angry he was about Ben's death. He first turned his anger towards Helen, but when he went to visit her and threaten her, she made it clear that his parents signed off on the murder. We watched him put the pieces together of their involvement when he saw Ben's ashes, firing a shotgun blast through a window in their home in a fit of rage. He's always been an odd character, and he doesn't really have any friends. Where are they going to take his story from here? And what about baby Zeke? He was only a part of their family for a short period of time, but none of the Byrdes were happy to see him end up with Darlene. And there's good reason for that. Wendy seemed determined to get him out of that situation, but her initial plan to make Darlene look unfit didn't work out. Things got crazy so fast with Ben, Helen, and the cartel that there really wasn't time to go back to it. So going into season 4, we have to wonder if they will still try to get Zeke back. Another character who I wonder about is Rachel. After everything that happened at the Blue Cat, and with her working for Agent Petty, she did manage to make it out, at least as far as we know. When we last saw her, Marty gave her a plane ticket to Miami, where he arranged to stay in a rehab that he had prepaid for, and he gave her a down payment offering to buy her out of the Blue Cat. While all of this feels like a fine way to write her out of the story, the chemistry she developed with Marty would make a return of the character carry some weight. Have we seen the last of Rachel? And I guess by extension, have we seen the last of Tuck? We could ask the same thing about two of the new characters in this season, Frank Jr. and Aaron. Frank Jr. wasn't my favorite character. He was annoying. He was just sort of there to cause problems. In the end, Darlene took care of him. She shot off his manhood, and that could be the last we see of him. And even though she went to talk to his father and kind of make him an offer, we never saw him explicitly agree to anything. So there's definitely a possibility that Frank Jr. might cause some problems going forward. Aaron is somewhat more interesting just because of the stakes. We would imagine that she would go back to Chicago and live with her father, but I don't think we could say for sure that the cartel would be fine with her being out there in the world. She did give Jonah his first kiss, so he may stay in touch with her. And in that case, if something were to happen to her, that might really push him even further over the edge. Another big question I have at the end of season 3 is what's going to happen with the FBI? We saw them arrest Sam at the end of season 3. Marty wasn't really that concerned about that. Considering how nervous he was about doing what he was doing, it's a little bit hard to believe that he won't cave once they get him in an interrogation room. Beyond that, Maya definitely knows that Marty and the Byrdes are connected to the Navarro cartel. To this point, she hasn't been able to prove it. Marty's been trying to get some leverage against her, which seems nearly impossible because we know that she isn't crooked. We know that she's still going to be at the casino. The warrant has been extended. So it'll be interesting to see where things go. Agent Evans should still be around as well. We last saw him working with Helen, who won't be returning, so everything on the FBI side of things is completely up in the air. One of the big character shifts in season 3 was Wyatt. He now seems to be all in on a relationship with Darlene, and I wonder what a future for those two will turn out like. Darlene seems to be concerned with starting a legacy, getting the heroin business back in full swing, and creating a new crime family that consists of locals with the Langmores. It makes you wonder if 3 might play a more important role in future seasons. He was sort of sidelined in season 3. It makes you wonder if Darlene and Ruth would be able to work together. Darlene hates the Byrdes, and I don't think we should ever overlook that when we think about her future plans. For the time being, Ruth is also pretty firmly in the anti-Byrde camp, but these are two strong personalities. We saw that Ruth is absolutely capable in the work that she did for Marty, but I'm not sure we could say that Darlene will put up with the same things that Marty would. This whole new alliance, it just seems like there's so many things that can go wrong with it, and it seems really unlikely that all of these major players will make it out of season 4 alive. I also wonder if someone will take Helen's place. Helen essentially took the place of Dell, who was the go-between between Navarro and the Byrdes in the past. The way things are now, it seems like Marty and Wendy are on top of the food chain. So would there even be somebody else that would come to take their place? That makes me wonder about Nelson, who worked side by side with Helen for so long. Will he now work side by side with the Byrdes? And if so, how is someone like Jonah going to think about that? Also, Ruth is smart enough to know that she can't really go after Nelson, but his presence should be particularly unsettling for her. He killed her father and her lover, so seeing him around, that could cause issues, but then again, they might not really cross paths. There's so many questions, but I think these are the biggest ones that are on my mind right now. I'm really interested to see how Jonah develops. They always hinted that he was sort of a strange character, and Ben's death really brought out the anger in him at the end of the season. At the same time, he's been somewhat accepting of their situation. He looks up to Marty at least, and he showed an interest in what they actually do. Seeing the Langmores on the same side as Darlene, I mean, there's so much that could happen there. Where things go also depends on how many seasons we think there might be. I know that they've said in the past that they thought about 5. It all depends on where they land. Regardless of how many seasons they do, I think at this point we can say that it's going to be crazy wherever they go in season 4. The cartel won't change. They're not going to let up. And that means that the pressure will always be there. So I'm going to leave it there. Those are my big questions. Tell me in the comments what yours are, what you're hoping to see in season 4, what are your favorite theories. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm thinking about doing some more Ozark videos over the next couple weeks. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you soon.